there is a challenge that is coming from digital currencies such as blockchain technologies.
So I think it's important to share that anything can be tokenized.
All the money.
I like the idea of a gold standard. I mean, it could be used in a very cryptocurrency way.
Very much sooner than a lot of people understand or think. We will be all at a level playing field.
Hey, welcome to the show. I have two guests joining me today from Trustek. We have Trevor Hoffman and Andrey Chabanov. Welcome, guys. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me, Spotlight. Excited to be here.
Sure. So Vahal's been working with Trustek for the last couple of months. We thought it'd be great to have these guys onto the show and talk about what they're building, why they're building it, so you can understand kind of how this ecosystem is developing. So before we kind of get into what you guys are doing now, Trevor, why don't you go first? Give us a little bit of background on your story. Who are you and why are you here today?
Yeah, would love to. Yeah, so I'm Trevor Hoffman, co-founder and VP of Business Development for Trustek and RampMe Daddy. So I've always been a huge fan of crypto. I probably got into the crypto arena back in 2017 at like one of the first or second bull runs for Bitcoin. Then shortly after finding about Bitcoin, went down all the different rabbit holes with XRP, XLM, and Hedera Hatchgraph. So fully just became obsessed with it. And then I was able to start working in the crypto field in around 2020, 2021, where I joined iTrust Capital, one of the largest crypto IRA platforms. I was fortunate to join there as one of kind of the core early on team. So working out of the co-founder's living room, actually in Calabasas, California, and was there from the start and helping grow iTrust into the giant monster that it is today, owning the whole crypto IRA landscape. And that's where I was actually able to meet Andrey, where I was running corporate development and Andrey was running product and engineering. And from there, we made a great relationship together. And while working at iTrust, we saw that there's a lot of opportunity in the marketplace. And we decided to take a step away from iTrust and join Trustek together and build a pretty good backend infrastructure that's really going to conquer the crypto markets and help businesses easily offer these services to users. But yeah, I'll pass it off to Andrey and let him introduce himself as well.
Wonderful. All right,
Yeah,
Andrey,
thanks.
what's your story?
Yeah, great to be here, Molly. Thanks for having us, and thank you for the intro, Trevor. But yeah, I mean, my background, did my undergrad at UC Santa Barbara, got a math degree, went to work at Wells Fargo. From Wells Fargo, I transitioned into software engineering, and natural step from that was to get into the blockchain space, and blockchain and crypto. So the first job as a software engineer that I got, it was I guess the first hire at a company called CoinStarter, and it was a launch pad for ICO projects at that time. That was a very hot topic. So we just provided the technology, where we launched over 150 ICOs, I believe, and over $200 million in ICOs that launched. Unfortunately, the first crypto winter hit shortly after. We had to wind down. I worked on a couple of other ventures, a couple of other startups, crypto projects, and other verticals started. Then I decided to take a break from tech because I was getting burnt out. Started a logistics company, and that took off. It was the right place, right time, definitely. So built it into a successful logistics company nationwide. And then a friend of mine was they were just starting out iTrust Capital, and he was able to convince me to join, which it was hard because I had a successful business running, and I had to make a decision either to transition from there into a startup that may or may not be successful, or stay where I'm at. But I'm passionate about the crypto space, so he was able to convince me relatively easily, and that was probably the best decision that I could make at that time. I joined iTrust Capital. It was a very small team. We was there since I wouldn't say from 0 to 1, but definitely from 0.5 to 1. So definitely saw a lot. We innovated a lot in the space, and definitely loved my experience at iTrust, very strong team, very innovative team, very passionate team. But the time came to build something of our own. We worked with Trevor very well together, and between the two of us, we got the coverage on biz dev partnerships and product and engineering. So we saw the gap in the market when it comes to technology infrastructure, because it's not an easy point of entry for any small startup or any company that wants to enable crypto for their clients. They need to manage a lot of vendors. There's 20, 30 vendors sometimes that could go into a crypto account opening for a non-crypto native business. We button all of that up under one umbrella, and the clients are able to plug into Trustek APIs and take advantage of our product.
Now, how would you explain what Trustek does to somebody with no technical knowledge or background in crypto? Like, what's the most simplest way to explain your offer?
Yeah, the idea where we actually started was designed for people who for financial institutions that are not familiar with crypto. So our initial goal, and I think the long-term vision is still there, but as far as going after financial institutions, regional banks, credit unions, so they're not very crypto savvy, but there's a lot of benefit in that in offering crypto accounts to their clients. So the idea of what Trustek is that instead of going and setting up relationships with 40, 50 vendors, you need a custodian, you need a trading partner, you need banking relationships, you need KYC providers, AML providers. So all of that, if you want to do it right, comes out to be about 30, 40, sometimes 50 vendors if you were to count in redundancies, because you do in this space, you definitely need redundancies, because the whole industry is in such a juvenile space, as a stage that things break all the time, and you need to be able to shift between two different vendors should one vendor go down. So with Trustek, we make it easy for you to build a retail facing crypto app, and you can do it as quickly as couple of weeks. Compare that to something that would have taken a year or 2 years to build the relationships, to execute all of the contracts. That's how long it would have taken in the past.
Now, people who are new to this world have sometimes a connotation around the word crypto, that it's sort of like this get rich quick, like speculative asset class, kind of like penny stocks. So I know that that's not what you are building for. So like, what kind of business would create a crypto app that isn't interested in this kind of speculative money-making thing?
Yeah, so I think there is room for everything, really, right? We just provide the technology layer, and if you can build whatever you would like on top of it. So you can build a custodial wallet, you can build non-custodial wallet, you can build an on-ramping solution where we would receive USD, we would switch it into USDC or any other stable coin, and we have the ability to operate through our strategic partnerships in all 50 states, technically, in United States. So we're really product agnostic, as long as the client that we're onboarding needs to touch USD or crypto, and they need to convert from one to another, we're able to support it. So we currently have a couple of on-ramping clients. They have been very happy with our service.
What does on-ramping mean for people new to this world?
Great question. On-ramping means that you want to buy crypto. You want to buy Bitcoin, let's say, or XRP or XLM or Ethereum. You have money in your bank account or in your debit card, credit card. We're rolling out Apple Pay very soon. And they want to buy Bitcoin. They can do it usually on Coinbase, crypto.com, the leading platforms, but the use case that we're serving is for people who are interested in self-custody and they want to hold their own keys, which means that they're not reliant on a third-party institution to hold their digital assets. Was that enough of a breakdown?
Yeah, now this needs me.
So
So one of the things that we have covered on this channel at length is trying to figure out what the banking industry, sometimes referred to as the banking cartel, like their views on trying to control the money system globally. Like they've had a monopoly on money creation and money printing for our whole life. Now, one of the things that has happened the last couple of years is that this sort of like crypto land was allowed to do whatever it wanted. You could mint tokens and trade them with other people. The challenge has always been getting that sort of crypto value back into the real world where you could buy things like at the store. This is referred to as the on-ramp and the off-ramp, right? Where you can bring fiat money into crypto and then take crypto value and kind of export it to the fiat world. And there's been some pretty tight like reins on, this is why like my Wells Fargo account doesn't just connect generally, it didn't until recently, to a crypto exchange. So knowing that you guys are taking on the stance of being on-ramp and off-ramp, like, has there been resistance from the traditional financial institutions? Have you had to like fight a tough fight? Like tell us a little bit about the on-ramp, off-ramp challenges.
Well, past 4 years were all resistance.
Okay.
So it was such an uphill battle. Even the relationships that we would work on for for like 6 months, 8 months, we would all of a sudden get an email saying, "Hey, we're not onboarding any more crypto companies. We're not supporting crypto companies. But let's touch base in the future." And that's been the reality that we had to work with for the past 4 years. On the flip side, in the past couple of weeks, we had a number of businesses reach out to us, in particular banks, saying, "Hey guys, we talked a couple of years ago. Let's pick it up. Let's get you on board and let's do business together." Because now the banks are not worried about about getting in trouble. It's pretty simple.
So would it be correct to say that the tide has shifted and things are different now than they were 2 years ago?
100%, or at least it's starting to shift. The conversations are getting going. I think a lot of business development people and a lot of banks in particular, they are reaching out to us. They're setting up their pipeline, their funnel, to hit it hard in 2025.
So have you guys figured out like what's behind this shift exactly?
I would like to think that really stable coins actually have a big play in this for why banks are becoming more accepted and more embracing the technology. Because really stable coins have kind of been the killer app and the killer use case with all of blockchain and the kind of the more real world use case as well that everyone can utilize and all businesses can utilize. And in the most recent years too, we've seen a lot of different payment service providers, international remittance companies, and even banks start utilizing stable coins for their own internal payment systems and then also their domestic and international payment systems too. So I believe that really kind of these banks are starting to look and embrace the technology that's underlying stable coins. They're seeing it's a lot more efficient for their own use cases as well, and it just expands their reach and the velocity of the money that they're actually using too. So I think that that's really like one of the kind of the main urges for why this mindset is shifting, is becoming a lot more open.
Now, do you guys work with companies outside the United States?
Our main focus is United States, just because that's the regulatory environment that we're familiar with. That's the network of businesses and people that we know. But generally, the regulation in the United States has been so strict that if you go anywhere outside of United States, you can usually service those countries and people with ease. With very little legal and compliance lift.
That's why I was asking. I mean, Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse have publicly stated that the regulatory restrictions or lack of regulations in the United States have really pushed Ripple to pursue some relationships and, opportunities for their business outside the US. And I was just curious if you felt that similar like frustration with the lack of regulations in the US and kind of working outside the country while we wait for those regulations?
I would say that we're at a more junior stage than Ripple, which gives us a little bit longer of a ability to act. So I guess I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but we built our product specifically designed for United States because we strategically decided to build it about a year and a half ago, knowing that the regulatory climate has to change. And given the technology, we built technology first with the client needs in mind. So we knew that what we're building in a year and a half is either going to be widely needed and acceptable in United States, given the regulatory structure that we pursued, or it's going to be clear that the 2025 and the new I guess the new government is not going to, well, let me rephrase that. So we knew we're either going to be okay to use the technology that we built in the United States, or we're not going to be okay, and that we would pursue business outside of the United States. But the technology that we built would already satisfy the requirements outside of the United States.
So would it be fair to say that you've been pretty bullish that the US regulations would come into place
100%.
quickly, I guess? All right.
Yeah, I would say exactly like what you were leading to as well, like Brad and the whole team at Ripple. They've been definitely putting on the good fight for the US, as same with Coinbase and a bunch of other exchanges too. So we're able to confidently make the bet that they're probably going to be able to push the needle on some of this regulation, and it is going to be a lot more easier environment to build in and to actually run a business in the United States in the upcoming years. And definitely right now it's seeing like that bet is paying off, and 2025 is looking pretty primed for us.
Now, you guys, as software developers and sort of builders of architecture, have a different perspective on the crypto markets than sort of investors or people just on the business side. So looking at the sort of different blockchain technology platforms available, XRP Ledger, the Ethereum blockchain, even and Bitcoin blockchain, like what do you see has the most sort of promise for longevity? Like which of these are AOLs that are going to be forgotten pretty quickly, and which are the Googles who are going to be around for a long time, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I always look at the different assets and the different chains for like the purpose for why they're around. So looking at Bitcoin is always, it's like the crypto around. So it's a store of value. It's kind of the gold, the one that everyone always goes to, the one that people usually park their money in. So I think Bitcoin will never go away. It'll always be a good store of value, kind of like a digital gold, as everyone says. And then looking at more like the XRP and the XLM chains and infrastructures, those are definitely way better suited for payments, just because of their fast nature, how cheap they are, and the scalability with that. And both of those chains are positioned well to actually take advantage of that market and make an impact in both of those fields too. And then looking more at the smart contract side of things, such as Solana and Ethereum, those look more so like the programmable money, where that will almost be the chains that people will build applications on, will use for more logical reasonings. But that's the way that I see it right now. And I think that within all of those kind of main fields, there are some hype chains that come up and some that probably will go away. But overall, I think that it's going to be a multi-chain world. I think that in all the different fields, some chains are going to be doing better than not. But yeah, I think that unfortunately we could see some smaller chains fall away, and definitely lots of assets. But the ones that are within the top 50 market cap today and have been there, I think that those ones will remain dominant.
Okay. Now, as guys who've been in the blockchain world and therefore the Bitcoin world for a long time, do you think the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto is relevant?
I mean, I personally, I like it that it's a mystery. I think that if we were to able to find out who he actually is, or who they actually are, the group it is, that would kind of ruin a little bit of like the crypto mystery and the fun aspect to it as well. So I personally love the fact that it still is a mystery. It makes it a lot more fun, and it also kind of reinforces the security around the technology. That crypto was always made to be kind of anonymous, more decentralized, and it proves that to the core. If like the original founder of the first crypto still is not known, then that speaks to its core value.
But you guys used to work, at iTrust Capital, and the IRA market is highly regulated. Like you can't just do whatever you want with people's IRA money. So let's even look at the Bitcoin ETFs. And do you think that the companies launching those ETFs have a fiduciary responsibility to know who the creator of Bitcoin was?
I think that with this, I mean, looking at Bitcoin as an asset, I think Bitcoin is big enough right now that knowing who the creator of isn't too dangerous or too much of a risk, just because it's already been filtered out. A lot of people hold it. A lot of people already know about it. The one creator doesn't have a full control of the supply or is able to, I guess, control the asset at will. So I don't think that it's a significant risk to not know who the actual owner and creator of that asset is. However, if it was a different asset, let's say a brand new meme coin that then it was someone on Twitter who created, they don't want to undox themselves, then I definitely think that's a risk just because it's still way more of a premature asset. But looking at Bitcoin just as its unique case, since it is the oldest crypto, one of the most decentralized crypto, and everyone already uses it and knows of it, I don't think it's a significant risk to not know who Satoshi Nakamoto is.
So I have an insatiable curiosity, and I will not rest until I know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. So that's why I
I,
ask
I went
everyone who
down
comes
those.
on.
Yeah, I went down those rabbit holes in about 2020, 2021, but definitely could not find anything, and I was just going crazy. So I had to put that to bed.
All right, let's change gears a second. So you guys have a second company that you have launched, which I love the name of. It's called RampMe Daddy. I laugh every time I hear it. So what is RampMe Daddy, and how is it different than Trustek?
Yeah, so I mean, a little bit of the background there. So we built Trustek, sophisticated backend infrastructure. We're in process of talking to a couple of credit unions. That was about 6 months ago. The product for Trustek was just launched. We're talking to a couple of credit unions. The sales cycles take about 18 months for the credit unions, and we're just kind of super excited about our product, but not super excited about the sales cycle and the length of how long it's going to take. So we were at the Consensus hackathon, and we were at Consensus, and then we decided to be a part of the Consensus hackathon, and held by EZA, amazing guys. So definitely would recommend if anybody's into the hackathons to get their feet wet with crypto, whatever. They host the best hackathons.
You just tell people like what a hackathon is for those that
Okay.
yeah.
So hackathon is a coding competition that usually takes place for oftentimes at big conferences. The very first one that I did was at it was Money 2020. I believe it was like must have been it was in Las Vegas year 2013, or it was like the first or the second Money 2020 they held. It was hosted by PayPal, but you get 3 days, sometimes more, sometimes less, but usually it's at most 3 days. Um,
You try to hack into someone's computer? Like, is that the point?
no, yeah, that's you shouldn't do that unless you fully disclose that you're trying to do that to someone. But the idea is that you're given specific tracks. For example, at the one that we participated at Consensus, there was a Bitcoin track, Polkadot track, and a Stellar track. And being in the payments, Trustek is a payments orchestration platform, right? So we decided, well, let's take the Stellar track, and what we ended up building is something that, well, let's use Trustek backend and build a retail facing app on top of it, just so we can see how well our APIs are working, what could need work, because we don't want to wait for 12, 18 months for the credit union to make up their mind, right? So especially as a startup, you need to iterate your product fast. You need to fail fast. You need to learn what's working, what's not working to make sure that you're moving forward in the right direction. So we at the hackathon, you have specific tracks. You pick the track that you want to go, and you build a product, an MVP, just some sort of a prototype to showcase of what you had in mind and how it can make the life easier for people or for businesses. Basically, what problem are you solving? So what we ended up building is a Telegram-based crypto on-ramping solution. And that's where the name came from, RampMe Daddy. And Daddy is just because we're there to take care of the users. So we ended up winning the hackathon. We ended up so we got noticed by Stellar Foundation. We realized, well, I mean, if we won the hackathon, that means we're onto something. And the idea is that we built it inside Telegram. We're tapping into the billion users that are already on Telegram. And a lot of these people are crypto friendly. So a lot of people chat about the hottest tokens and coins and everything in Telegram. So we figured, well, why don't we give them ability to buy it from Telegram?
Okay.
Just a couple clicks away. So we ended up we decided, well, let's build out an MVP. Let's see let's see if it sticks. So we ended up we took us about 3 weeks to build an MVP, maybe even less. We rolled it out, tweeted about it on X. We got retweeted by Stellar, a couple of other people, and we kind of forgot about it. A few weeks later, we logged in to see how are we doing, and we saw over $100,000 in transaction volume. Turns out we went viral on X. We had a bunch of clients come to RampMe Daddy bot to try to on-ramp and buy crypto, and it was kind of a hit. So we decided to continue iterating and building that idea, and we got development grants from Stellar Foundation. We got a small backing on the equity side from Draper University Ventures and Stellar Foundation as well. And we're still building inside of Telegram network. We're not relying on Ton because we potentially might scale outside of Telegram in the future, so we don't want to be tied to that. But and now we're building a Telegram-based wallet, which will specifically use Trustek backend, and it will also be tailored for meme coins and global payments.
Now, software wallets are generally blockchain specific, right? You can have wallets like MetaMask that service a lot of different blockchains, or some, like the ones on Stellar that are generally limited to that. So when you're building your RampMe Daddy wallet, like, are there certain blockchains you're going to support?
Yeah, the goal, our three main ones are XRP, XLM, and Solana. Those are I mean, and different ones are good for different reasons. But there's most of the meme coins, for example, are on Solana, so that just naturally makes sense. P2P payments are the best using Stellar network, so that's what we're going to use for P2P payments. And we intend to keep the P2P payments completely free, which we're super excited about. And XRP, there's
for
I mean, do I even need to mention that?
Yes, because we have people going to watch us who are new to the whole world.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think I mean XRP is definitely, we've been big fans for the longest time, and there's some meme coins that are getting launched on XRP as well. But I'll pass this. I know Trevor is very passionate about talking about XRP, so I'll let him fill in.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, like I was originally said, like it's going to be a multi-chain world. So we know that we want this wallet to be able to service multiple different blockchains. And the whole premise of RampMe Daddy as well too is to make it a really easy user experience for anyone that wants to be able to get into the world of crypto and easily purchase crypto and hold crypto for the first time. Since we create a wallet for them all through Telegram, and it's a one-click sign up with their Telegram account. So we will be first going off of those three main chains, XRP, Solana, and Stellar. Definitely, I put XRP in there as well. That was a personal request that I put into our team, just because I've always loved XRP. And then also with more recently with First Ledger, which is a XRP meme token launchpad. They've been doing phenomenal work, and would love to be able to be another kind of distribution and platform angle to get more users affiliated with XRP meme coins. So that's kind of one of the first angles we're going with, but then we will be expanding out to additional chains as well, such as Base, such as Ethereum, and whatnot. But really within it, you won't have to really know that you're dealing with different blockchains because we'll be able to have a multi-chain wallet that uses account abstraction. So it'll just be one wallet that you utilize that then has multiple different smaller wallets behind the scenes that allows you to interact with the different chains. So it won't be like an old school kind of annoying self-custodial wallet where if it's MetaMask, you can't really interact with Bitcoin or you can't interact with XRP. This one will be kind of more inclusive to get a better user experience for anyone that wants to enter into crypto without having to have annoying headaches and have to feel like they have to be a technologist to fully understand it.
So how can you explain meme coins to somebody new to this world? What are they?
I would say meme coins are definitely, it's almost like a club, like a loyalty kind of community. So I guess like a great analogy to look at it is trading cards in a way. So with Pokemon was one of like the original kind of games. There's a whole community around it. There's trading card elements. There's a whole kind of peer-to-peer kind of trading game within Pokemon. And all Pokemon users wanted to buy the cards and wanted to buy the characters so then they could be a part of the Pokemon ecosystem. So then now looking at how communities are formed, instead of having to create a physical item and then people go buy the item and then possibly trade that item with each other for scarcity or for just playing the game purposes or to just be a part of the community, being able to instantly buy or get exposure or have value of a piece of a community, such as a meme coin, that is a lot easier for individuals to instantly be a part of and feel involved and have voice and have a say. So I believe that really with meme coins, it's a kind of a community-driven initiative rather than a speculative trading. Obviously, there are trading aspects to it. People buy meme coins and sometimes they are the next lottery ticket. But for the most part, a lot of people that buy meme coins are part of the community and really like the ideas and either the jokes, the memes around it, or the cause that the meme coin is surrounded behind.
So a couple years ago, there was like an NFT craze, and everyone and their mother was sort of launching these NFT collections that also kind of had this community aspect, the Bored Apes world where you could have access to a private Discord or a private whatever if you hold these NFTs. So do you see meme coins as like the 2024 version of the NFT market from a couple years ago?
Um, Possibly a little bit. I don't think it's going to be as much as a crazy hype cycle with NFTs, how NFTs definitely had a really high run up and then an immediate crash after. I think meme coins are more resilient in that they will be around more because with meme coins, it creates more opportunities to engage with the community rather than just with an NFT launch and then waiting to get a JPEG and then just having a JPEG in your wallet.
And also, it's there's a lot more going on with meme coins, right? I mean, because if you buy an NFT that you're supposed it's a collectible, usually you don't trade collectibles a lot. Meanwhile, the meme coin market, it's not necessarily as high of an entry point, and that's something that you can enter in and out of the position a lot easier. So it's much more of a community building. Meanwhile, also realistically, people do use meme coins to try to get alpha and make some earnings, try to get some gains. But at the end of the day, I do think that it's people that follow the market that want to be a part of the certain community, and just like trading cards. And speaking of Pokemon, fun fact that I realized recently is that Satoshi is the name of the main character of Pokemon, the guy who's a part of it. Yeah.
Know that. Oh,
So
interesting.
maybe that's the answer to all of the wonders.
Yeah. So do a lot of the people who watch this particular channel are in the business world and always wondering like, how are these technologies going to solve problems for business? And many businesses have kind of loyalty programs or kind of evangelical level supporters. I mean, this is what the business community was doing with NFTs a couple of years ago. They were kind of creating these sort of fan clubs of sorts. Do you see meme coins as having any use for the business world? Like, is it something marketing directors or whatever should understand to grow their own loyalty programs potentially?
I say definitely yes. Outside of being the technology piece, there is just so much on the community side that meme coins are driving, and it's what we've been recently seeing is that it is the social media influencers and kind of people who have a decent following. They are successful at launching their meme coins. Are all of them done for all the right reasons? Unfortunately not, but I think we have to realize that that's not just the crypto industry or digital assets, that's any industry. So but overall, I think as far as marketing, as far as building community, as far as building your brand recognition for any business, that's the future. And even, I mean, maybe not as necessarily as relevant, but it's still worth paying attention to California tokenizing all of the car titles. And I believe they tokenized 42 million car titles on chain. That is done to prevent fraud, but also that's the step in the right direction as far as digitalizing the world and all of the services, because out of every place that I don't like going, DMV is definitely at the top of the list. So
Who actually tokenized the car titles? The state government?
I believe it was state government, and they did it on Avalanche.
Interesting. And have
Yep.
other states done this? I've not heard of this yet.
I haven't heard about tokenizing the titles, but I know that Ohio, for example, they've been able to take your tax return in Bitcoin for quite some time now.
Okay. So we're getting to the end of 2024. It's been quite an interesting year for the crypto world. What are some of your predictions for what we should see in 2025 for the industry as a whole?
Prediction for the industry. Well, I can say what I am excited about. It's the stable coins and the fact that there was a recent partnership announced. I'm not entirely sure on how deep it goes, but it's the USDC and Binance. I think that's a huge partnership in particular because any involvement of USDC with any vertical in the crypto or really any business that strengthens US dollar. And I think that's one way to uh, make America great again and drive that drive the strength for US economy and US dollar. Because at the end of the day, so USDC, it is a digital dollar, just to explain to people who may not know what it is. It's a stable coin backed, one USDC is backed by one US dollar. So the more exposure USDC gets, the more exposure USD gets. And unlike stable coins from other countries, obviously, they don't necessarily use US dollar to back them. So driving USDC adoption will drive adoption of US dollar, and that will benefit United States and the global economy at the end of the day. So I think we'll see a lot of movement on that in 2025, especially with Ripple launching their stable coin, which is extremely exciting. And really the penetration of the market that Ripple has seen so far. Obviously, it's a US company. So that's what I'm excited for 2025 and 2026 and moving forward.
The Binance has their own dollar stablecoin, BUSD. Do you think this relationship with Circle means BUSD won't be necessary anymore?
The way I've been thinking about different ways that it why this relationship might have been built, but one of the avenues I saw that in order for Binance to be able to operate in United States, they might have to settle in USDC. So that's just my speculation, but it does make sense as far as why they would do it, because if Binance doesn't do it in USDC, then United States really doesn't get any benefit from it. By having Binance settle in USDC in US dollar that's held in United States by United States banks and trust companies, that benefits US directly. If we settle using Binance's stablecoin, that really doesn't benefit us. And there will be going a lot of liquidity and trades to Binance because they do have a competitive market. So that's
So do
just
you think that we might see Binance, not the Binance.US thing, that like actual Binance re-enter the US market?
I don't see why not. I mean, I think the relationship with CZ and Binance has been figured out, in my opinion, right? We kind of came to terms. He did his time, paid his fine. So, why not work together? I really think that by working together across different countries, it really helps everybody across the world.
You guys have been in crypto for a long time, so you're well aware of the Binance history. For people that are new, can you just give us a quick story on like why Binance, which is the largest global exchange, right? Why are they not allowed to be in the US market? What happened?
Well, there's a lot of things, but I would probably say that the most recent one that well, there was Binance.com, then there was issues with licensing and regulatory piece of Binance.com operating in United States. So Binance kind of peeled off the US branch of Binance, where all of the US customers are able to onboard, but they offer very vanilla offerings. I believe most of it is provided by BitGo and a couple of other US based vendors, so we're not getting anything
Not the
extra.
real Binance. Like I remember when I first got into crypto, I joined Binance US and heard all these great things about Binance. And I'm like, this isn't terribly impressive, really not knowing that there was a very large exchange that I was locked out of.
Right. Yeah. And so I got locked out of Binance .com a while ago. So I'm waiting for them to allow us US based clients to use it again, so I can get access to some of my, I believe I have Tron in that account. So
Oh,
hopefully it's
okay.
been growing. But yeah. So
Trevor,
that's
do you have any sort of hopes or predictions or
Yeah, I mean, I
like
think
to see
that
happen this
definitely,
year?
yeah, 2025 should like really open up the floodgates, in my opinion, for like US, the US market primarily. Really with it seems like with the regulations, the new administration coming in, that regulations will be figured out. It'll be a lot easier, friendlier environment. And even from like the government side, how Trump has mentioned that they are looking at a strategic Bitcoin reserve, which I mean, just that alone, that would be the biggest bull flag in the world that we've all seen. So I'm excited for a lot more movements like that and for that to actually possibly become reality.
Now, when do you think, like, what has to happen for crypto to be used on a daily basis the same way that people use PayPal or use Venmo or get a paycheck via, their bank? Like, when will, like, what does the world have to look like for all of the money systems to kind of run on the blockchain?
I would say that it's not going to look much different than what we're familiar with right now. And that's something that, well, actually both Trustek and RampMe Daddy are working towards, because as a retail user, as just an individual, I don't care if you send my money in USD, euros, pounds, whatever it may be, or stable coins or Bitcoin. What I care about is how fast I can get it, and how reliable, really, I think how fast I can get it, and that's just about it, and how many fees I'm paying along the way. The idea that a lot of companies, like Trustek has been working on is abstracting the complexities of blockchain. So as far as the user experience, it's going to be absolutely the same. So what we will see is just companies integrating solutions like Trustek on their back end without changing anything on the front end, so the clients don't realize that they're getting paid in stable coins. And I think that's huge.
So is it possible that a lot of the banking system is already running on the blockchain and we just wouldn't really know?
Well, I think that it's a fact with JP Morgan, right? They had Onyx, they just rebranded it to something else. But yeah, Onyx has processed billions and billions of transaction volume, and they have the whole arm that handles it. We have Figure Markets rolling out Bitcoin-backed mortgages, which I think is also extremely exciting. And they're just innovating so much on that front. And those are some of the greatest minds in the banking space. So
I mean, many people, including me, think that FedNow, which is sort of the back end ACH payment system, is already using the blockchain because if you try to move money through ACH now, it goes through quick, where it used to take a couple of days. That seems to have gone away.
Well, I mean, I hope they are. I don't know if they are. But in reality, it's all just relatively simple database entries. On chain, they're a lot more effective, a lot more scalable, and in my opinion, there's a lot of benefit to that. But it's just data transfers. So blockchain makes it more efficient, transparent, and secure. But yeah, I mean, hopefully they're innovating and maybe they're using XRPL.
So for people watching this who are in the business world and they're not really sure if Trustek has a solution or software platforms that are relevant to them, like how can you help them figure out like who should reach out to you? Like what what are the first problems that someone wants to solve that Trustek can help solve?
Any business that is interested in getting into crypto or supporting stablecoin payouts, for example, or receiving USD for them or on behalf of their clients, receiving USD converted into crypto, and then custodying crypto, be it stablecoins or any type of any asset that's available, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. So yeah, any B2B that does crypto or B2B2C that offers crypto.
So if it's a business and they maybe have employees overseas or they buy supplies overseas or vice versa, they have overseas purchasers of their services or products, like is that really the first use case, is this kind of cross-border payments issue where crypto allows that money to go through instantly?
Yeah, cross-border payments is definitely one piece of the solution that we offer, and that's it's a very common piece when it comes to stablecoins. I would say that our sweet spot is helping with money transmission in United States.
Okay.
Through our partnerships, we have money MTL coverage in 49 states. In some cases, we can cover New York as well. But yeah, so if you want to receive USD and send out crypto to your clients, retail clients in United States, that's our sweet spot. I think we really alleviate a lot of the costs there for these businesses because it costs millions of dollars to get your own licenses, or some of our competitors charge north of I mean $40,000-$50,000 a month, which is really hard to get started for smaller businesses, perhaps not VC-backed businesses.
So if you think about businesses in the United States, what are they generally moving money for? It's kind of two primary things, right? They have payroll to make, employees to pay. Then they have overhead expenses like rent and utilities. And then they have supplies like their accounts receivable, accounts payable for, things that they buy and sell. Which of those does Trustek fill in, or is it all of them?
It could hypothetically be all of them, whoever needs to get paid out. But the sweet spot is not for the treasury management in particular, but for clients' assets, for example, where if it's a registered investment advisor that wants to use our very comprehensive, easy to use dashboard to trade their clients' assets, see the portfolio right away. So that's one example. So working with clients' assets is a lot more useful. And I would probably say that for treasury management, while we can do it, we have the technology to do it, there are a couple of other businesses, ventures in the space that are actually really good at doing that. So that's not necessarily the area that we're trying to compete with.
Got it. So the Val Hill use case that we're talking to you guys about is sort of something you guys are focused on is.
Exactly.
Got it.
Right.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
If a company was interested in speaking with you guys, what's the best way to get that ball rolling?
Feel free to email us, Andrey, Andrey, @trustek.io. or Trevor, Trevor at trustek.io.
And you can find us on LinkedIn as well too, and also our website, just www.trustek.io. Definitely would love to talk with everyone and see how we can help their business try to enter into the crypto space.
And if people want to use RampMe Daddy to on-ramp and off-ramp their funds, what's the best way to do that?
They should go to rampmedaddy.com and join the waiting list. There's a waiting list that we're putting together for when we do go live to the general public. Well, you will be notified.
Okay. So that's kind of in a testing stage now. It's not.
Yeah, so we are testing RampMe Daddy right now. We will be rolling out just an interactive little game on in Telegram just to keep clients engaged and start giving them some points for some potential rewards, and then it's going to be an interactive game just to get the brand awareness going. But then hopefully we ship the actual wallet in the next, I don't know, Q1 of 2025. I'm not going to commit a hard
Are you
time.
waiting for regulations, or is that an issue for RampMe Daddy? That you need clarity on that, or no?
No, we have that part covered. That's fully figured out. We're just building. 90% of the time that we do is 90% is building, 10% is podcast. So
Good. I mean, you guys probably need to build the software in order for it to go live. So that's great.
right. Luckily, we have a very talented team of engineers that are able to build quickly and efficiently.
And what's the best place to kind of keep tabs on what Trustek and RampMe Daddy are doing? Where do you guys publish your kind of corporate updates?
Trustek is all LinkedIn. That's our main social media channel, and RampMe Daddy, we're ramping up our X account. We actually just got it approved with a gold check mark on X, which we're super excited about. So you can follow RMD_wallet.
Great.
RMD wallet.
Well, thank you guys. It was wonderful to learn about all these sort of products and services you're offering and have a cool chat about the crypto markets with some OGs who've been in the space for a long time. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Molly.
All right.
Yeah, thank you, Molly.
Okay.
Thank you.